Welcome back to Doing Bart Things, and today, in this episode, or video, in this decidedly low-rent production, Lian Li shows how it's done. Um, yes, so before you is the Lian Li Landcool 205 mesh. This case is a basically perfectly fine case. It has 240 millimeter fans in the front, comes with a 120 in the rear. It can't really support anything other than 280, radiator in the front or the top. It's a little bit shallow as far as depth, so you can't fit the biggest video cards in it. And for its feature set and for what it offers, it's starting to get a bit long in the tooth for 89 bucks. This case, I would not have recommended over some of the Montech offerings, over some of the Fantex offerings that are out there. Other case manufacturers have some decent offerings that I probably wouldn't necessarily recommend this over unless you got like a really good deal on this. For 89 bucks, this ain't it, right? Lian Li knew this, and very quietly for me, I don't know if maybe I just am living under a rock or missed it. They came out with a new version of the 205. Well, they don't call it the 205, it's the 206. And it's a complete different animal. It is basically a lot of the frivolous or luxury features that are not necessarily needed, but were nice to haves off of the 216. And they made this guy out of it. And I'm just going to say, it's perfect. It is basically an $89 case that comes with 260 millimeter fans that are quality fans. They work great. Lian Li has had awesome success with them on the 216, and they have brought them down to this case, which like is crazy. Just think about this for a minute. If they sold these fans separately, no question they would be $30 a piece, maybe more. It has two of them in an $89 case. That's, they're RGB as well. So it's a couple of fans they decided to put a case around. This is what's happened here. And it's a good case. It doesn't look bad. I like the looks, actually. It looks pretty, it looks understated, is what I'll say. And sometimes these cases get a bit gamerish. So this isn't bad. It fits you can put a Strix 4090 in there, no problem if you wanted to. It has a GPU support bracket, which for that card you would probably want one of those. It basically does everything that you want to do. And it comes with some of the features from the 216, some of the more important ones. So check this out. One complaint, I paused their promotional video. One complaint I have about the 216, or not, sorry, not 216, about many other cases out there, about the Fractal North, the North XL, the Montech 916, all these cases that come with multiple fans in the front, they don't include bracketry that is both removable and sizes itself appropriately to accommodate the fan. What I mean by that is, if you look, right, so if you take these brackets off and you move them in, you can get three 120s. If you move them out one setting, you can get two 140s. If you move them out another setting, you can get two 160s. Why is that cool? Well, it is cool because the fans are completely unimpeded. There's not any extra metal there, basically, stopping the end of the fans from generating air into the case. Like that's a big flaw in a lot of cases out there. And let me demonstrate. So if you look at the back side of the Fractal uh, North XL. So these are, or maybe it's just the Fractal North. Yeah, it's just a Fractal North. So this is my case that I have currently. There's a fan filter, and then the mounting points for a 120 mil fan basically interfere with the, because it's more metal, so that creates turbulence, right? So that increases noise levels and it reduces cooling efficiency because it basically impedes the fan tips and causes that turbulence. And that's a big overlooked thing that a lot of case manufacturers, just as an afterthought, they're like, we don't care. It supports all these fans. We're good. And it's like, well, you just because you can bolt a fan in doesn't mean you're letting that fan do the job it's supposed to do when you impede it like this. It's okay. Like, we're not talking a massive difference, but it's that little attention to detail, taking the time to go ahead and decide to add that extra bit of work into the chassis to be able to do that. And then it also allows you to get more fan sizes involved because all you need to do is put extra holes on top and bottom. So 140s, 160s, three 120s, it can do it. And it will do it and it will fit itself correctly so that it is not, it's not impeding those fans, or at least impeding them as little as possible. That's great. Like, that's really good. So I don't know, man. Would I recommend this case over the 216? I think if you want all the whiz bang features, you go for the 216. It saves you about 20 bucks to go with this case. I think this case is a tiny bit smaller. I would need to see it in person, um, but I believe it is. So I would probably like to go with this case if I had the option because it wouldn't take up as much room on my desk. There's features that I think you're paying for in the 216 that are not necessarily required. Um, and I like the front bezel a little bit more. A little bit. That's about it. That's really the difference. I think the 216, though, has more features, obviously. One thing that the 216 can do that this can, obviously, is move the front I/O to the bottom. So that's really good for the 216. That's something that I like because, if you want to plug something in on your desk, that would be good. Performance wise, though, I don't think there's any difference. None at all. As a matter of fact, because this is just a wee bit shorter, it might be just about the same. Maybe this is slightly better. Maybe. Um, it would be pulling hairs or splitting hairs to call that. Would depend on many different things. But the fact that this case is 89 bucks, comes with those fans, and I mean it's basically the same case, but a little bit cheaper. And they'll have deals on it. So I'm pretty surprised. I am hopeful that we'll see more variations of Lian Li cases that come with these fans or the ability to use these fans um, because, yeah, they're like really good. And I like big fans on my cases. So anyway, that's it. Just thought I would drop a quick video and talk about that. I made a longer video and decided not to use it because I was getting all excited, like that's Lian Li doing its thing. Um, it's it's just cool to see basically newer features, better product for the current market brought to market, and the price is kept the same because that's the segment that case should be in. I just think it's awesome that somebody is realizing and doing that. Montech is kind of doing it. Um, Lian Li is doing it. Fractal. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of a Fractal fanboy, and I would say that they're not doing that. Their cases tend to be more expensive. They're using some quality materials, like the Fractal North is a quality product, more or less. Um, but I would say for the features provided, it's it's gonna be it'd be way harder to work on that than this. I mean, this thing's like almost ready to go. You know, probably plug in a fan in the back and put your AIO in, or not if you have an air cooler. This would do great with air cooling because of that mesh, front mesh, and those fans. Um, and I don't think you can necessarily say the same about the Fractal case. This probably is around the same size as the Fractal North. You can throw a 360 mil radiator in the top and go about your day. You can fit most all video cards and put a 360 in the front probably. Anyway, guys, that's it. Like and subscribe if you would. If you're looking to build a new system, this might be worth a look, especially if you've got a micro center close to you. I didn't look up the prices online to see what they were charging, like out of Amazon or something like that for this. I would bet it's probably more. And unless you just specifically want this look, if it is more than a 216, if there's no money savings, then I would probably go with a 216. But like I said, if you have a micro center close and it saves you a few bucks, I like this. If this is available when I bought my North, I would have bought this. Um, because I was already looking at the Fractal Design Torrent, and for me, this is basically just a better torrent that's cheaper that I could afford. So anyway, take it easy, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next one.